Welcome my friend. So Venus is retrograde from today, and in this video I am going to talk about the effects of Venus getting retrograde on all the 12 ascendant signs. Okay. So before I start the video, let me quickly do the mantras. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vyam Vedvyasaya Namah Om Gurave Namah. You're all set to get into this video now. So what is Venus? We relate Venus with marriage, relationship, also with youth and so many other things. But if you see some prominent people, right? People like Varamahira, who has written Brihad Samhita, topmost classics, and also Kalyan Varma, who has written Saravali, another impeccable classics which we refer even today. Very, very important for us to go through and understand the subtle aspects of Jyotish. Both Varamahira and Kalyan Varma, they used to take into account only one dasha, and that was Naisargik dasha, which I also take into use. I've learned from my Guruji, and I really like that dasha. Very, very good dasha. What is the speciality of that dasha? Okay, it is based on the graha, the planets. Okay, Naisargik dasha says from 0 years of age, the moment the child takes birth, to first year of age, 1 year of dasha is governed by the planet Moon, because mother is the most important at that point in time for the child. Then from year 1 to year 3, next 2 years, the Naisargik dasha is of Mars, because those 2 years are the period when actually child starts to gain strength. Okay. Then from year 3 to year 12, the next 9 years is the dasha of Mercury. That is the time when child starts to speak, starts to learn a lot of activities. Yeah. And now, I'm not going to talk about the dasha in this video. That is not the topic. But now the key point of this dasha, from year 12 to year 32, the next 20 years, Naisargik dasha is of Venus, Shukra. So at the age of 12, Shukra kicks in. That is an important point to note. That is a Vedic way of defining things. But in modern world, we call it teens. The age of teens, 13, 14, 15, you understand? But that is effectively the period when, as per the Naisargik dasha, Venus starts to rule from the age of 12. You call it teen or the Naisargik period of Shukra, whatever you call it. My question, the fundamental question is, should we associate Venus or Shukra? Yeah. Should we associate Shukra only with passion? Or should we relate Venus as that energy which rejuvenates life? What a brilliant question. Should we associate Venus only with the passion? Or actually we should look at the Venus as its energy which rejuvenates the life? Because let's not forget, Venus is that which is related with the Agni Kund, the southeast corner, southeast energy, southeast power. Right? Alright. So, I hope you got the drift. Yeah, that is the drift that, yes, what is Venus? And now when the Venus is getting retrograde, how do we analyze the result for all the signs, for ourselves? Now, I just use the word retrograde, and this is the topic on which the video is based. Yeah. What is retrograde? Before I joined the Parampara 6 years back, my knowledge of retrograde was, that when the planet starts moving backward, it is retrograde, which is, even today the knowledge is the same. But the fundamental difference, before I joined Parampara, I used to think that when a planet is retrograde, it gives result from the previous house in addition to the house where the planet is placed. But now with Parampara, I got the right understanding. What is mentioned in the BPHS, Brihad Parashar Pura Shastra, the knowledge which is actually shared by Rishi Parashar, that when a planet is retrograde, when the planet starts to move backward, its desire, listen to the word very carefully I'm using, its desire is to give the result from the house opposite to it. Okay? I have used the word desire. So why I am putting so much focus on the one desire? Let's say Venus in somebody's chart, natal chart, is exalted, or in Maran Karak Sthan. Exalted would be when the Venus is in Pisces sign in your chart. Maran Karak Sthan if the Venus is in 6th house in your chart. Just to put the things in perspective. And now, in the same chart, in your natal chart, while the Venus is either exalted or Maran Karak Sthana, or could be any other thing. I'm using these two simple cases just for the sake of the concept building. And if that Venus is also retrograde in the same chart, so does that mean it will bring changes? It will bring changes, yes. But changes in what extent? Changes, let's say the planet was MKS, 6th house, and the planet was also retrograde. So does that mean it will remove the effect of MKS? The answer is absolutely no. Because MKS, the Maran Karaka Sthana, is the avastha, that state which is based on the position of the planet in the 6th house. Just because the planet is retrograde, it doesn't mean it has moved to the 12th house from the 6th house. No, the planet, that avastha of MKS is still in 6th house. The physically position of planet is 6th house. Just that the desire of the planet is to give the results from the house opposite to it, which is the 12th house. Right? You understand? Okay. So with that concept, let's take a step forward. When I'm sharing that planet is retrograde, it is desiring to give the result from the opposite house. And now in the current context, Venus is getting retrograde. Where is Venus currently posited? It is posited in the house of Pisces, as we speak today. And today, Pisces, Venus is exalted. And now being retrograde. Will the exaltation go away? Exaltation will be there. Exaltation is basis the position of the planet. But by being retrograde, the desire, the tendency of Venus will be like to give the result from the opposite house, which is Virgo, where the planet Venus gets debilitated. So the desire of Venus will be to give results as if it is debilitated. Okay? And when a planet is debilitated, see the magic of Parampara learning. The planet is considered to be like Shani. Nicha energy will kick in this result of Venus. That's the reason. While Venus is getting retrograde, specifically when it is in Pisces, where it gets exalted, that Nicha energy of Saturn kicks in. Now see the magic of Jyotish. Nicha energy of Saturn is kicking in. Venus is in the house of Jupiter. Plus. Venus is in the house of Venus is in the nakshatra of Saturn. So Saturn or Shani's energy is actually engrossing Venus from various aspects. But it is the house of Jupiter. So effectively we are reaching to the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in one way or the other. That's where, while I'll talk about the analysis or effect of different ascendant, the results could be good, not so good, or in the middle. Whatever the result is, it is paramount that you understand the relationship of Saturn. As we know, Saturn is kind of engrossing Venus and is the house of Jupiter. So it is important for you to understand the result of Saturn and Jupiter, the relationship in your horoscope. If that relationship in your horoscope is friendly, then the result which I'll talk today will be even better for you. One layer of sweetness will be added. But if the relationship of Saturn and Jupiter is not so friendly, rather inimical in your horoscope, then that caution will need to be taken into account. But why am I putting so much focus on the relationship of Saturn and Jupiter in your horoscope? See, it is like WBC, white blood cells. They are the first line of defense. They are the defense mechanism. WBC acts as the immunity from our body strength mechanism point of view, right? The first line of defense. Likewise, if the relationship between Saturn and Jupiter, though we're talking about Venus being retrograde, see the beauty, but we are evaluating the relationship between Saturn and Jupiter in your horoscope. if that first line of defense is strong, is friendly, then the analysis will be even better for you. I hope you get the point. And there is not only first line of defense, there are multiple lines of defense. But because I spoke about this in detail in my yesterday's video, which I referred to it as part 2 of Saturn transit, and I put focus on the relationship in your horoscope. If you go and listen to the video, watch the video, you will see I've given you some customized table for your horoscope. Just take a screenshot of those tables and evaluate your horoscope to see quickly, just to see whether the Saturn and Jupiter in your horoscope are on friendly terms or not. And then you fine tune the transit Saturn analysis or this analysis and take it to your advantage. Okay? Alright. Now, the result period, which is very, very important. From today onward, Venus has already got retrograde today morning sometime. Okay? And it will continue to be retrograde till 13th April morning. Pretty long time, 1 month and 13 days, so to say, or slightly less. But it has different avasthas. This retrogression has different avasthas. The first avastha, which is very, very critical avastha, the results will be solid, results will be tough, challenging. Okay? Multiple results are there. I've just explained exalted plus retrograde behave like nature, right? Behave, desire. Also, Saturn is there, Rahu is there. So the challenge is there, first 2 weeks. But the same thing will continue to take place in the second 2 weeks also, the last 2 weeks of March. Why I'm differentiating? So my friend, in the last 2 weeks of March, you see, all these factors will still be there, but Venus will further be afflicted. It will be combust by Sun. So the results will take further hit in the third and fourth week of March. So the results will be further to the cautionary side of it. But 27th of March, combustion will go away. And as we tread into the 1st of April, till the 13th of April morning, when it becomes direct, those 2 weeks of April, broadly, will be relatively calmer, milder. But all these things will still be there. Venus will still going to be retrograde, Saturn will be there, Rahu will be there. Why the result will be calmer? That's the beauty. Because 1st of April, Venus will tread into the nakshatra of Jupiter. And who can bless you? Who can save you other than Jupiter? That is the reason, the results, that calming effect. Though the results will be challenging, but when you are going through so many challenges in your life, even the slight relief will feel like, wow, I'm feeling relieved. That's the calming balm effect you will feel from the 1st of April till 13th of March. 13th of April, apologies. And after 13th of April, Venus will be direct. And then I'll speak to you again, the possible impact of Venus getting direct. Okay, so let's now get into 12 signs, ascendant-based signs. I'll be using ascendant. Aries. So as I speak, I think I did mention that in my Saturn transit video. For Aries, those effects will now, I'm putting one layer on top of those results, because I'm today speaking about the Venus as a primary force of energy. Yeah, Venus being retrograde. So for Aries ascendant people, you need to be very cautious when it comes to the relationship aspect, because the combinations are such which can have such energies in your mind that some secret relationship can prosper. Those energies can be there. I did mention this in my Saturn transit video, but now I'll be more specific. In the first 2 weeks, the result, as you speak now, from today onward, till about 11th of March, you need to be really, really cautious. Extremely, extremely impeccable impact. Very, very strong impact. For you, the 3rd and 4th March impact will be there, but from today till 11th of March, the impact is extremely high. Extremely high. Just keep a close eye on this. Okay. Second, expenditure on the unnecessary items. Items like you like to buy some branded clothes to impress upon somebody. Like you like to gift somebody an ornament made in silver, not in gold, talking about Venus. Or you'll buy flowers to impress upon somebody, to give it to somebody as a gift. Expenditure will be there. Now these items, we can avoid expenses, but it will be there. Just keep an eye on that. Okay, now the important part. If the temporal relationship, the Tatkalik Sambandha between Jupiter and Saturn is friendly in your chart, then Jupiter will bless you even the first 2 weeks of time. It will bless you. Some people may call this itself as a blessing. It's the perspective. No? Let's not be judgmental. But Jupiter will bless you to take the right cause. So please please evaluate the relationship of Saturn and Jupiter in your horoscope. Right? You can revisit my video, look at the table, part 2 of transit Saturn, and reevaluate and check for yourself. And as mentioned, first 2 weeks of April, results will be milder. Things will go calmer. This holds good for all the signs. Okay, but hey, Aries ascendant, after 13th April, as the Venus is getting direct, a Tapasvi Yoga is getting activated for you. I'll talk about it in detail in my next video when Venus becomes direct, but just kind of curtain raiser for you. Taurus. Well, you will have an extreme is in bold here, extreme focus on your social networking. To the extent, because your Lagna Lord is also getting involved. Your Lagna Lord itself is Venus. Remember that. To the extent, if you're not able to connect with your friends one day, you'll feel like, oh, something is missing. That focus is there. I am focusing on the Venus getting retrograde. I'm not bringing other planets in conjunction at this point in time. But yes, Venus will try to drive your energy and focus to reactivate your social engines, social circle. Keep that in mind. But because Venus is retrograde, that connect, that attention, that spending of time will eventually result in a lot of worries. At a mental level, you'll not gain the happiness out of that connect. You have even a lot of worries. The worries could be that person is getting so much popularity on the social platforms where I'm not. I'm much more capable. Still, that person is deriving a lot of popularities. All these questions may come into your mind. So mental worries may creep in during this period. But the silver lining, please evaluate your relationship between Jupiter and Saturn. If the friendship aspect is there, then you will rather gain from your enemies. Because your 6th Lord and your 11th Lord combination will act in your favor. Your 6th Lord and 11th house combination. Your 6th Lord is at 11th house. That combination will act in your favor. Because inherently, Saturn and Jupiter friendliness, that connect will help you. So please evaluate, look at the transit video, part 2 video of my transit site, Saturn transit part 2, and please evaluate how your natal Saturn and natal Jupiter are connected between both of them. How is the connect between both of them? Alright. And first 2 weeks of April, definitely there will be respite. This holds a standard for all the ascendant. And there are some specification into this aspect. I'll call it out specifically as I move forward. Okay. Fine. Now moving to Gemini. 5th Lord in 10th house is a Raj Yoga combination. I hope you understand. Do you know that? It's a Raj Yoga combination. But now, because of this retrograde aspect, this Raj Yoga combination will take a backseat during this juncture. Okay? But you also keep in mind that when Venus is in 10th house, as it is for you, we call that position as a Dikshunya position. Now just because it is retrograde, will that Dikshunya be converted to Digbali? No. Dikshunya will still be Dikshunya. It just that the desire to give the result from the house opposite to it. It is Dikshunya that a Raj Yoga combination is taking a backseat at this point in time. 2 points. And the third important aspect, there is possibility that you may end up into a romantic setup at your workplace. So keep that aspect in mind. Okay. But again, if you evaluate your Saturn and Jupiter, your natal Saturn and natal Jupiter friendliness aspect, if that aspect is friendly, then this Raj Yoga cannot be taking a backseat. Initially it may take initial relation, but because your inherent capability, your inherent natal Jupiter and Saturn are supporting you, they're friends, they will actually win the battle. That Raj Yoga combination will get reactivated if there is a natural friendliness between your Saturn and Jupiter. That is the first line of defense. Not to forget. Now, first 2 weeks of April, it will be common. In what way? So for you, the cherry on the cake is in the first 2 weeks of April, it will help you to remain professional at your workplace. And trust me guys, that is a definite karma effect. Okay? Keep that in mind. Moving to Cancer. With 4th Lord in 9th house, 11th Lord in 9th house. Wow. By itself, it's a wonderful place for the planets to be in. Wonderful place. I'll say wow. But again, it is retrograde. So you have to wait for the time till it comes out of retrograde. Hey, but aren't we talking about the period while the Venus is in retrograde? So we need to assess the impact when the Venus is in retrograde. Fine. Yes. So it will bring some challenges at home. The challenges could be in form of diseases as well. Need to be cautious about that. And as I briefly mentioned about Cancer sign in my Saturn visit, please do Om Gurve Namah, because 9th house is under radar. So that Om Gurve Namah will definitely give composure to you. Please do that. But the good point, if your natal Saturn and natal Jupiter, that first line of defense is friendly, then that will make you wealthy. That has the power to give you wealth. Because the combination of 4th Lord in 9th house, 11th Lord in 9th house, by itself, it is a wealth-giving combination. If your first line of defense is strong, then this combination will have the promises to be activated, provided. There's a but. Because the 9th Lord got impacted by Rahu with double impact of Saturn energy, provided is you need to speak the truth. If you speak the truth, that Raj Yoga, that combination will get activated. Okay, I hope you get the idea. Okay, let's move forward to the sign of Leo, Ascendant. So my videos, at least in this kind of time frame, I'm making videos on ascendants. Leo. Well, 10th Lord is 3rd house. For the Leo sign, 10th Lord is in 3rd house. And it is carrying the energy of Shani. It is behaving as if it is Nicha. It is not Nicha, it is behaving as if Nicha. And from the 3rd Lord perspective, because for Leo sign, Venus is also your 3rd Lord. Now Venus is in 8th from 3rd house. That is also bringing the 8th energy of Shani. So from multiple angles, the energy of Shani is coming. Energy of Nicha is coming for Leo. So as I briefly mentioned in my Saturn transit video, you have had a good time at work. But because of this Nicha Shani energy, you may face some challenging situation at work. But my recommendation, you need to face it. Do not think of leaving job at all. It is only temporary. The thing will change very, very soon. It is only temporary. Okay, do not think of running away from this challenging position. Just face it at this point in time. Rather, this is an important point for Leo people. You will be drawn towards spirituality. When it will come automatically. Specifically in 3rd and 4th week of March. Why? The question is why? Because you will be the driver of this energy. Why? You, when I say you, I means your Lagna Lord. When Lagna Lord gets involved, your individual efforts come into picture. Lagna Lord is going to combust. You know, I briefly mentioned earlier in the start of the video, 3rd week, 4th week of March till 29th of March, Lagna Lord, you are going to combust this negativity of Venus, that Shani energy of Venus, you're going to combust it. And when you do it, and specifically when your Lagna Lord is in Pisces, obviously it will be the time for you to get drawn towards spirituality. It will happen automatically. See the magic of Jyotish. See that. Experience that for yourself. Okay? And in the first 2 weeks of April, because by then Sun will move away from Pisces, that combustion effect will go away. Still, because Venus will tread into the nakshatra of Jupiter, you will have a lot of milder effect in the first 2 weeks of April. Alright. Moving to Virgo. Well guys, for Virgo, your partner is lucky for you. Keep that in mind. Your partner is lucky for you. The thing is, you need to create a level playing field in the relationship. That is very, very important for you. Temporarily, you may feel the heat. You will not feel the common ground with your partner. But you should try to do a common activity between the both of you. We're talking about Venus retrograde. That is the clue. That is the clue. The common activity could be in the field of, let's say you both can do painting, you both can do some scriptures, Mercury is also sitting there. You both can do some poetry together. Whatever interesting field you will both like. If you do some common activity together, then the level playing field will emerge on its own. And that will help you to maintain the relationship and also to take it to the next level of smoothness. Please try to find out a common activity, find out a common ground. Need to show some flexibility, my friend. That is very, very important. Your partner is lucky for you. Don't forget that. Again, if you evaluate your natural Saturn and natural Jupiter, if the relationship is smoother, friendly, it will really help you to find the common ground rather quickly. You will not even need to wait for your effort for the Sun to combust Venus. You will find the common ground. You'll have the amicable relationship even much earlier. Please evaluate that relationship. Okay. And then first 2 weeks of April, as a standard thing, will give you a lot of respite in that area. But your partner will continue to be lucky for you. Please keep that in mind. Moving onward to Libra. Well, Libra, for you, Lagna Lord and 8th Lord, both are sitting in the 6th house. 6th house, Venus is Marankarak Sun. But by being retrograde, does it remove that impact? No. Marankara will still remain Marankarak Sun. Yeah. And 8th Lord is in 6th house. Is again something to watch out for. Diseases can knock at the door. So please, maybe just put focus on your health. It is important to put focus on your health. The desire of Venus is to go somewhere else. I'm talking about Libra, and somewhere else is the 12th house. So the diseases could be also from the area of Venus. Put an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. The thing is, when Venus is in Marankarak Sun, you have to look at the Karak. Jupiter is also in the 8th house. That is adding fuel to the fire. We are not getting respite somewhere. We have to wait till Venus actually moves into the nakshatra of Jupiter. We have to wait for that period. But before that, I've already covered the health. Don't take any risk with your health. Please evaluate your natural relationship between your Saturn and Jupiter. If that natural relationship is friendly, then this Karak Jupiter, which is also in the 8th house, will help you. It is bound to help you because inherently your first line of defense mechanism is strong, is favoring you. So that evaluation is very important. That will give you a lot of respite. Of course, as we tread into the month of April, the first 2 weeks will give you a lot of respite in that way. So I hope you get the idea of overall analysis for Libra. Now moving to Scorpio. 7th Lord, Venus is in 5th house. Fantastic combination, guys. Fantastic combination. Very, very good combination. I'll say, what a stellar character you guys have. Stellar character. Profound character. Very, very steadfast. Testing period. The time is going to test you. Please be ready for that. That is important thing. And you have the capability to come out of the test with your Shiva Bhakti. I'll briefly speak about it as I move forward. So what you have to do? One, you have to spend some time with your kids, with your family members, specifically with your kids. Your kids will be happy and you will also get that kind of energy, to face this testing. That is one thing you have to do. And also you have to evaluate your natural relationship between Saturn and Jupiter. If that first line of defense is strong, is friendly, it will also give you strength to face this testing period. But in April, specification, for you, standard I have been saying that first 2 weeks of April will give you some respite. It will give you a respite, but you have to visit your Jyotirlinga. Because for you, this combination, Shiva Bhakti is there. If you visit your Jyotirlinga, then that will be like cherry on the cake. It will make the period really, really in your favor. In your favor. Remember, stellar character. Person with lot of character. That character, that trait will really get what it requires, what it deserves. That visit to Jyotirlinga is very important for you. Now moving to Sagittarius. Now Sagittarius, 6th Lord and 11th Lord, Venus is in 4th house. Venus in 4th house is like Digbali. Though it is retrograde, it will remain Digbali. Keep that in mind. Okay? But 6th Lord in 4th house, 11th Lord in 4th house. We have to evaluate that. What is 6th Lord and 11th house? What is the common thing I can find out? Some influence, outside influence, could be in form of your maternal uncles, could be in form of your associates, your colleagues, your friend, society at large, where the influence is coming on the 4th house at home, or maybe on your mother. So, some influence is coming on your mother which you may not like. Remember, that is going to cause some conflict. That is going to cause some conflict. But the silver lining, if your first line of defense, your natal Saturn and Jupiter are in amicable relationship with their friend, then, mark my word, then you are going to get gains from your maternal uncles. From those relationships, you're going to derive gains. Things will move in your favor. This is very, very peculiar, but experience that. Please experience that. Okay? Now, April first 2 weeks, results are going to be milder. This influence will get milder automatically because the Nietzsche energy of Shani will go away. Yeah? Capricorn. 5th Lord, 10th Lord, Venus is going to the 3rd house. Well, 10th Lord in 3rd house, behaving like Nietzsche energy, carrying that Nietzsche energy. So, this is going to challenge your enterprise spirit. You are a person who's very enterprising in nature. Very enterprising in nature. Doesn't averse to take challenges. But now this is going to challenge your enterprise spirit. Please take note of that. You have had good contacts. Now those contacts would be tested. Please take a note. A caution. Try to stay away from the backbiters. If somebody is coming to you during this period, telling something bad about other person, please be rest assured that he will do the same for you. Try to be away. Try to adopt a cautionary approach from the backbiters. This is key point for you. But if the first line of defense, if your natal chart, Jupiter and Saturn are at friendly terms, that will ensure that your enterprise spirit stay intact. That will ensure that your contacts neither will do backbite for you, but it will act in your favor. So please evaluate that first line of defense. First week of April, again you're going to get some lot of respite, so that is good for you. That is the standard thing, guys. I'm not going into specification in that area unless it is extremely required. Aquarius. For you, 4th Lord and 9th Lord Venus is going into the 2nd house. Is in 2nd house, but it is getting retrograde. Is about speech. The speech is going to be tested. Very, very simple. We can see at a broader surface level also speech is going to be tested. Knowledge will also be tested. Knowledge which you display to others by speaking. That is the area, that is how we need to evaluate. The knowledge could be in different dimensions. There is knowledge which you write. 3rd house is not impacted. 2nd house is impacted. So the knowledge which you use to display to speak, that will be tested. You may say something that is not good, that is not factually correct. People may not perceive it correct. Your intent could be right. So keep an eye on that. So basically your speaking abilities, your speaking capabilities will be tested. But let me tell you, you are a powerful speaker. My friend, you are a powerful speaker. The area which is our strength, that area is only getting tested. That is the irony. That is the thing we have to see. Okay? That is how life works. Second thing, please keep an eye on what you eat. Try to maintain balanced diet so that it shouldn't happen that because of your eating habit, eating disorders, your health can get impacted. Please try to keep a close eye on that. Try to maintain balanced diet. Try to see you're eating appropriately. Okay? Now the silver lining, when you evaluate your natural relationship between Saturn and Jupiter, if those two planets are at friendly term in your natal horoscope, your first line of defense is strong, then with your speech itself, it will not be tested, it will not be impaired, rather it will be tested, but you will be able to clear the test with flying colors. You will use your speech only to maintain the effective relationship. But is that first line of defense itself is sufficient? No, never. But because I've spoken about it in detail in my yesterday's video, second part of Transit Saturn, and I've given you some handy tables, at least you can evaluate that. There are multiple lines of defense. I'll be speaking about those lines very soon in my part 3, part 4, part 5. I'll continue with the topic of Saturn transit. But whatever I've spoken, at least make use of that. And evaluate. If your first line of defense is strong, then this testing you're able to cope up with. That is the beauty of Jyotish. That is the beauty of having some light, having some Jyoti from Jyotish. Okay, moving to Pisces. Pisces people, your trait, one man show. I call you one man show, one woman show. Your trait is, if you generate wealth, you generate wealth with your self-effort. That is your trait. That is your characteristics. You're not afraid to take the solo route. You're the solo traveler in the world. But you're not afraid of that. That is your trait. It is going to be challenged. The thing, the quality, the positive attribute, the strength, those are the things going to be challenged. It is going to be challenged. But opportunities to learn will be there. Specifically because Mercury is there in this period. That will be there. And that is one of the strong area. You look out for the opportunities to learn. Health will be a challenge area. I will not deny health will be a challenge area. Please keep an eye on that. All of this on one hand, but your belief in the Almighty on the other hand. That is something which really helps you all the time, regardless of the challenge. That is the kind of blessing you have. So that blessing will still be there. But you again, if you evaluate your first line of defense, if you see if there is natural friendship between your natal Jupiter and Saturn, then these learning opportunities will definitely be converted, be fructified, especially because Mercury is there, right? And the testing will also be testing. You will be able to cope up with testing in a very, very nice and friendly way. So please keep that in mind. Alright. So is there a generic remedy which I can speak about while Venus is retrograde? There is a very, very specific remedy. Very, very. Now this remedy is not dependent on which lagna you are. Regardless of the lagna, it applies to everybody. And this is a remedy very specifically when Venus is retrograde. And to make it more specific, when it is with Rahu, afflicted by Rahu, the remedy is Radhika. Please pray to Radhika with flowers. That is a very, very effective remedy. One of the effective way to pray to Radhika would be Radha Krishna. If you can't say anything else, just say Radha Krishna. That itself will help you tremendously. Simple and impeccable remedies are really, really powerful remedies. The remedies which comes from nature, using flower, they are really powerful. Try it. Try it. Okay. So I'll see you soon with some other insightful video. Let me end the video with Om Namah Shivaya.